Who's Gallagher?
Pat.
No idea.
Alan.
Couldn't tell you what a Gallagher is.
Evan.
Only from the Geico commercials.
Fair enough. Gallagher is a comedian in the 1980s, and everybody's got a shtick, right? Every comedian's got a shtick. His shtick, simply, fellas, was, and he sold out arenas and auditoriums doing this. Sold out arenas and auditoriums. He would simply bring anything onto a stage. Fruits, vegetables. He once brought a video game console out there. Okay. Anything you can think of. He would then take a sledgehammer and just absolutely beat the you-know-what out of it on a stage. And this was beloved by tons of people who would fill arenas to watch him do it.
See, I don't even... How is that funny, though? You're a comedian. How is that funny?
I'm waiting for the punchline.
Yeah,
is there something else?
What is it?
No punchline. That's all it was. Sledgehammer, destroy objects.
He just started laughing. Everybody's like, yeah!
Right. Now, sometimes when it was a fruit or a vegetable.
What kind of laugh was that?
Well,
okay.
Right. It may be the people sitting in the audience. He may be extrapolating the people sitting in the audience there. So essentially, the Cowboys said, look, we're the 2020 Cowboys. We wish we were the 1990s Cowboys with Aikman and company where we won 3 Super Bowls. But let's harken back to the 80s when Gallagher was a big star. Last Saturday night, the Cowboys got Andy Dalton coming back on Sunday. They've dropped 3 in a row. They still haven't won a road game under Mike McCarthy. McCarthy rolls out in the team meeting on a Saturday night and brings out one of those big fruits and vegetables. Gallagher was most known for smashing watermelons because they're huge and they explode and it just gets wet. Everybody gets crazy. He rolls out a huge watermelon, takes out his own sledgehammer, not a hammer, a sledgehammer, Gallagher style, a la Gallagher, and starts beating every watermelon. It's going all over the room. Everybody's going crazy. The team is loving it. Essentially, the hook here was, I want you to hammer the ball out of Dalvin Cook tomorrow. I want you to hammer the ball out of Dalvin Cook. One of the watermelons has the words Dalvin Cook on it. DeMarcus Lawrence says, Coach, give me the sledgehammer. And he destroys the Dalvin Cook watermelon. And the moral of the story, the Cowboys won.
Yeah, but how is that motivating? Me bursting open a watermelon?
You got a good coach motivational tactic type story to get you all fired up?
No. I guess
nothing
that's
as good as
nothing?
Nothing that good?
Oh, you mean me as a coach?
Yeah.
Or just
you as a player, or some coach doing something to you?
No, not really, because I wasn't really into that. You know, they could just tell me this is what we got to do to take care of business, and I kind of got it. I wasn't into the whole, we got to chop wood, and this is, that just didn't register with me.
No axes, machetes, or anything.
Doesn't mean that it didn't register with my teammates and some other people. That wasn't my style. But to think that a guy is bringing a watermelon with a sledgehammer, I guess.
It worked.
Whatever.
Kind of.
We should have tried that at the damn beginning of the year.
We come into the room where I forget who we're about to play, but Coach K had set up, the room was dark, and it was a scene from Gladiator, right? So imagine like coming in like, you're about to do a couple warm-ups, but you haven't gone out for your official warm-ups yet and get a pregame talk. And it's the part where Russell Crowe is riding around his horse and he said, for if you die, for you or an Elysium or something like that. And the lights turn on and there's a Wilson basketball that's kind of rolling in front of this little walkway where all of us players are sitting at. And Coach K comes out of nowhere and just dives on the floor. And he's wrestling with the ball. He's like, fight with me! Because that's before Russell Crowe goes into battle, right? Everybody gets up and everybody's like, yeah! And then we're on our way out the door, and Coach is still on the ground, like my hip, because he had bad hips around that time. Yeah. So I just had a little bit of a hip problem. So okay, motivational but slightly funny at the same time.
Gotcha.
Y'all won the game.
We won the game.
Much like the Cowboys and Gallagher.
That was like,
the Cowboys and Gallagher.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it, I guess.
You can only go to that well once.
Yeah, but that's not. I don't really know if I find smashing watermelon is like motivational.
I don't know. I
have no idea who Gallagher is. Can you imagine Ezekiel Elliott? Like, what are we doing?
Parcells, I remember one time the course of practice.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good, so I left practice for a couple of days or whatever, and I had the flu, and so he would put stuff on the lockers. I had the Thai law flu is what he would call it, saying I was trying to get out of the game because I didn't feel good.
Were you?
Come on, man. Go look up the numbers. I don't even want to have that conversation. You just pull up the film. The film don't lie if I got out the game.
I'll Google it right now.
You can Google it all day long.
Also Google Gallagher while you're at it. Last thing, from smashing watermelons to a smashing success, Bam Adebayo was certainly that in the bubble. I think that's fair to say. That has yielded him a $195 million contract if he hits all of his escalators, meaning if all the incentives are hit, he can make 5 years, $195 million. Here's Stephen A. Smith last night on SportsCenter. It sounds good to Bam. This is Stephen A. Smith last night.
It sounds good to me, and it ain't my money.
On what this extension actually means here.
If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you're feeling confident that you're going to be able to keep the Greek Freak, albeit there's no guarantee. If you're Pat Riley and the Miami Heat, you were saving that cap space to make sure you could go after him without trying to acquire him via a sign and trade or anything like that. Because they signed Bam Adebayo to this contract, it's going to be significantly more difficult to get your hands on a Greek Freak.
We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Jay, that's something you were talking about earlier this morning. This is a long-term play type move.
If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you don't necessarily feel confident that you're going to get Giannis and keep him there. Even if Giannis does sign a Supermax, he can still try to force his hand and get a trade. I mean, look what's happening in Houston with James Harden. Like, James Harden